Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, where we explore the realms of heavy music and have conversations with some of the most talented bands in the genre. In this episode, I'm joined by a very special guest, Ricky Myers, from death metal band known as Suffocation, to discuss 1 year on from the release of Hymns of Apotheca, along with Mosh Pit Etiquette. So let's get heavy. First of all, my name's Stevie. I want to welcome you to Get Heavy UK, where we like to highlight bands and try and promote a bit of positivity throughout the metalverse.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Steve. Appreciate it, bro.
It's no problem whatsoever. So, let's get straight into it, because we're nearly at a full year for Hymns of Apotheca. Am I saying this correctly? Apotheca?
Apotheca, yeah.
Yeah. Nearly 1 year. I believe it was released November 3rd, 2023. So, like I say, coming up to its first year anniversary.
Yep.
Reflections on the release. It's been, like I say, almost a year. How do you feel about the album now compared to when it was first released?
Me, I like it. I love it. I put a lot of work into it, and so did the guys. It's something that we took a lot of time in, and something that we listened to, and we're really proud of what we did.
It is a beast of an album as well.
Thank you, brother.
It's an absolute beast of an album. The creative process, can you walk us through some of the key themes and concepts that inspired the writing of this album?
Well, for me, lyric-wise, the Book of Enoch, Fallen Angels, I took from that, and I just made it into my own story, basically, really, of how, I perceived it, As far as that, the writing process, I live in California, and those guys live in New York. So either I would go up there, but most of my time was on Zoom. And me and Charlie would be up, man, for hours. We would be on Zoom for every day, like for hours, just coming up with rhythms and like try to do this, try to do this. And we wrote whole songs right on Zoom, man. So
how was it? Because this was your first album with the band, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you feel any pressure going into recording?
Yeah, you feel pressure. You're replacing a legend, an idol, in Frank Mullen. So it's it's always in the back of your mind. You're like, I don't want to, the Suffocation fans, I don't want to let them down, because first I'm a Suffocation fan first. So I was like, if I want to hear something, I would be like, I don't want to be disappointed. But yeah, it definitely weighed on me for sure.
Like you say, Frank was an absolute legend. Still is.
Man. I mean, his voice is probably one of the most unique voices, dude, that there is in death metal. I mean, if you listen to it, you can't emulate that voice. I don't care who you are and who tries. It's impossible. It really is.
The band itself, Suffocation, is pretty much pioneers in the death metal scene. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel very, blessed to be in this band. You know what I mean?
It's like a signature blueprint, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And you listen to Terrance, man, he just comes up and keeps coming up with crazy shit, man. He's just a fucking wizard. He really is. The shit he comes up with, it's really sick. Right now we have a good core of guys, man. We all, write music, and when we get together, it makes sense to us.
Of course. So what has what has been the most surprising or rewarding reaction from fans regarding this album?
Everybody just says they like it. I haven't heard anything like real negative. I mean, you always got your Frank Mullen fans, like, oh, it ain't Frank, which is understandable. You know what I mean? You listen to somebody for that many years, of course you're going to get that, But as far as that goes, our record sales have been great, So they surpassed the last two albums. They said they haven't sold as many since Pierce. So that's awesome for us, So we're doing good.
I can imagine the majority of those negatives, if there has been any negatives, will be just done online. There'll be nothing done. Yeah.
I don't hear anybody at the show or anything, but I don't really pay attention to the comments and stuff like that. But you always glance and you go, yeah. Same old. You always got somebody trolling you, which is okay.
The keyboard warriors, as I like to call them.
Yeah, exactly.
So the musical evolution. Do you think the album represents an evolution in the sound compared to previous work?
Yeah, we tried to make it back like old school for us, like Pierce from Within, Despise the Sun. We wanted that kind of production. We wanted it kind of more raw. We didn't, we played to click tracks, but we floated on them. We didn't really stick to them. I didn't record my vocals with the click track. I just recorded to the music just to give it a sort of an organic feel, you know what I mean? And that in perspective. But, yeah, we're very pleased the way it's going. And Donaldson, Christian Donaldson, who did that guy's, he's fucking the shit, man. He's really good. So we're stoked on him.
Nice. So, for yourself, do you have a particular favorite track on the album?
Man, I have two favorite songs. Hymns from the Apocrypha and another song called Immortal Execration is another one of my favorites.
That's a sick album, this song title name.
Yeah. That one's the heaviest song I think that we have on that album for sure. But that's my favorite, my two favorite.
Any particular reason as to why? What makes it stand out for you?
I would say Immortal is just because it's so fucking heavy, and then Hymns is so intricate. Hobbs wrote that song, and he made it so intricate. It loops. It sounds like it's going off the trails, but it's really not. It's all locked in. So yeah, I really dig that a lot.
Nice. And you've been touring like crazy as well for this album.
Yeah,
as well.
Man. It's like this is the first time I've had time off. We had 3 months off, and yeah, it was much needed, man. We've been going for the last 2 years, man. It's nonstop.
Picking back up in November, is that correct?
Yeah, I leave here like in about a week, man, to go up there and start rehearsing for the Morbid Angel tour. So I can't lie. It's like when you're home, you want to get out, and when you get out, you want to come back home. So it's a love-hate relationship on the road and shit. But yeah, I definitely we get out. We leave in about 2 weeks to start that tour.
Sweet, nice. So you've obviously back in June, July, you've toured Europe, UK here. What were some of the standout moments or experiences on that tour?
The UK is always awesome, man. It's fucking crazy out there, London's always good. Ireland. I mean, everybody. We love that whole place. Anytime we get a chance to come out there, which we will be coming out there February, right? So we start the tour with Angel Maker out in February there. So yeah, we always look forward to it, man. We always look forward to it.
Nice. That's absolutely sick. You played Newcastle as well, which
Newcastle,
is my hometown. Our good friends in Vulgar Dissection were on the bill. I don't know if you got the chance to check them out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're sick. Yeah, you guys have so many good bands over in the UK. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm wearing one of them right now, I believe. Injustice.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's my boys, but yeah, you guys have a lot of sick bands out there, man.
100%. The underground scene at the minute is absolutely thriving. Absolutely insane. Just so many, and I can imagine it's not just the same here. It's the same for the States as well. So many talented underground bands. I've had the privilege to chat with some of them. Really, absolutely sick people in the world. So yeah, man, it's absolutely sick. So
it's crazy. It's crazy how many bands there actually is that you've never heard of. We go to these shows and these bands are just the opening bands, and you're like, they could fucking be on this tour. I mean, they're so sick. It's just the politics of it. You got to get noticed, got to get your shit out there and stuff. But some of the bands are they're killing it, man. They're really killing it.
Sometimes it's an oversaturation in it as well, because
it really. Well, then when they start sounding the same, like you get these bands that you put in, you're like, I can't fucking tell the difference between one band or the other. That's a problem. But if it's brutal, fucking whatever.
Yeah, especially with the age of like YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, etc. All these streaming platforms. I mean, I can literally record a piece of music. It doesn't have to sound good, but I can upload it to Spotify. Do you know what I mean?
Anybody can make an album. Nowadays, in your living room, you could marry in your bedroom, man. You can make an album easily with all the technology they have now.
Yeah, but on these things now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Insane, isn't
nuts.
It? So yeah, that's one of the things. My personal opinions, just an oversaturation, too much.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot.
So how does the European audience differ from what you experience in shows in the US?
Well, it all depends. Europe is crazy. They pack the houses and stuff, US does too. It all depends. Some shows you go to and they're just nuts, they're going crazy. And then some shows are more mild. The same in the UK and in Europe also, You get to Germany, some places they stand there, they don't do shit. And then the other shows they're going nuts, So I guess it differs, you know.
Yeah. Any places that you haven't toured that you would love to visit yet?
Oh man, I've been trying to push for South Africa. We've never been there, but I heard they got a killer scene there. So
Oh,
yeah, that would be somewhere to go. And now I don't know, man. We've hit so many places. I can't even imagine that we've missed too much. Russia, we've been to China, we've been everywhere, man. I can't imagine. But South Africa would probably be the one that I could think of.
nice one. And what is that one city when you know you're returning? What's that one place you get really pumped when you find out that you're returning to this particular city or country?
I would say it'd probably be a festival for me, Hellfest. Every time I find out
Oh,
we're playing Hellfest, I'm just like, oh, it's my favorite fest. It's so cool, man. You walk around, it's like a carnival almost, you know.
yeah.
But you got all your friends are there, and you're all hanging out. It's like a family reunion. So yeah, really any festival, if you want to be honest, where all your boys are at and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say the
I have
festivals.
never had the privilege of attending Hellfest yet because it sells out so incredibly quick.
It does. But man, if you ever get a chance, it's one of the funnest times ever.
Definitely. I'm heading over to Paris very shortly. They've got a
Oh, cool.
bar for Hellfest there,
Oh,
that
nice.
so I'll be attending just to see what the situation is and have a
Yeah,
hopefully meet some like-minded metal fans.
I'm sure you will. I'm
Yeah.
sure you will.
So, um, setlist choices. How do you decide on set lists for the tour? Do you incorporate many tracks from your recent album into the show, or do you have a bit of a mix?
Yeah, we've been mixing right now. We played 4 new ones, and then we're adding 2 new more, but we're gonna swap them out during the tour. We'll just throw them in wherever, you know. But we're trying to play as much as we can off the new album. Trying to keep people, you know, people come, they want to see some of the old stuff too, you know, the bangers, Liege and Funeral and stuff like that. So we keep those. But yeah, we are incorporating more new stuff. Hopefully, we can continue to do that, you know, and you know, so you don't have to hear the same songs over and over, you know.
But with a back catalogue like Suffocation, it
You could
must be
play a million songs.
it must be difficult to choose,
It is. It is. You
especially.
know, we basically all just get together and with songs that we want to play, you know, and then if we have to learn some, we will. The thing with learning old songs is like either we could take time to relearn those songs or we could write new material. And we always go for writing the new material, you know, instead of going out and pulling all these songs that Terrance hasn't played in fucking 30 years, you know. He's like, I don't fucking know. Let me go listen to it, you know, which he'll do, but we'd rather write new shit, you know, and not go backwards. We'd like to go forward, you know.
Yeah, of course. Like it's touching back on the festivals as well. Like, you'll get like maybe a 30 to 45 minute set sometimes, and it's like, how do you
Yeah, it's quick.
with that back catalogue? How do you narrow it down?
Yeah, we don't. We just know, like, we know which songs are like the bangers. Like, we got to play Lead. We're gonna play Infecting the Crips, you know, and stuff like that. Catatonia, and then we'll, you know, trickle in the new stuff, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we usually do.
Sweet. So, are there any further plans to tour and support the album? You've mentioned you're coming back here in February. Any other places or regions?
We're doing that in February, and then after that, we have I believe, a U.S. tour in June. I can't announce that yet, but it's gonna be a pretty big tour too next summer.
Ooh,
I'm sure we have something in between, but I haven't seen the itinerary yet. But those are the ones that I know are there for sure.
thank you. Looking forward to that announcement. So,
Yeah.
Um, this part of I've always wanted someone of your stature, your caliber to. I've been getting a lot into mosh pit etiquette a lot
Hmm.
recently.
Yeah, yeah.
A friend of mine from Edinburgh who's in a band called Hammer. We can see he put out a massive post just about how people are purposely going into mosh pits to incite violence.
Yeah.
So you've probably witnessed a variety of mosh pits and behaviours over the years. What are
Yeah.
your personal observations on the current state of mosh pit etiquette?
You know, usually what I see is everybody's pretty good with each other. You know, they fall down, they help each other pick up. You know, and if there's anything fun, we saw some guy at one of our shows. He jumped off and he hit his head and he stopped moving, and I stopped the show. You know, yeah, you know, just to stop to see if the guy was okay because I wasn't sure he wasn't moving and he hit his head. The ambulance had came and all this stuff. So, you know, I guess with mosh pits, you got to be careful, man. There are some dudes in there, like, you know, the hardcore guys throwing fists and people are getting hit and stuff. But you know, you got to expect that. If you're going into a mosh pit, I expect at some point you have to understand you're going to get hit. You know, if you don't want to get hit and you know and something happens, don't go. You know what I mean? But you know, everybody's pretty good with each other. You know.
I hear you, understand what you're saying, but it comes to a point when it's purposely swinging fists. Do you know what I mean? That's when.
Yeah, that's more the New York style. You know, hardcore. You know, Charlie's into that kind of stuff. But yeah, those guys are. Yeah, they get violent sometimes, man. You
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I was at a show in Newcastle for I think it was a Metal to the Masses show. One of the basically this um stag party came in. Look, they probably didn't even know any of the music that was going on.
Yeah.
One of them asked who was even on stage because they were so shit faced.
Yeah.
But they were literally the type of people who were just literally going into the mosh pit just to hurt people.
Yeah.
And
See that in my opinion, everyone's there to have a good time, man.
that's
Watch the show and stuff like that. I don't really think you need to go in there with the intentions of hurting somebody. If you're out there throwing fists and you're in the open and you're doing your dance or whatever, you know, that's something different. But if you're just going in there to physically hurt people, nah, there ain't no room for that. You need to go. You know.
Do you think do you think there's been a more of an increase in the atmosphere in pits? Do you believe it's a problem that might need addressing?
Um, You know, I don't know. I don't see too much of it myself. I mean, we tour a lot, and the people that come to our shows, I would say I don't see anybody going there intentionally, you know, and hurting somebody. There was a guy in China that went in there and headbutted somebody, and I stopped the show for that. And I said, get him the fuck out. You know, you can't. People are in there trying to have a good time. This guy's hammered, you know, and he goes in there and he starts headbutting people. You know, it's like, dude, you know, everyone's trying to have a good time, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, fuck this guy, you know,
Yeah,
get out of here, man. You know, it's stupid, but.
respect on kicking them out, mate.
Yeah, man. It's just like,
That's
come on.
just, it's no need for that, is there?
No, absolutely not.
What advice would you give to fans in regarding how to enjoy the show while also being considerate of their fellow attendees in the pit?
I would say, look, man, if somebody falls down or you see somebody, you know, hurt, help them. You know, that's your fellow brother and your metal brother. Help them pick them up and keep going. You know.
And say it's how important do you think it is for bands and venues to promote safe mosh pit practices?
I think it's very because you never know. You do got these kids that are stage diving and stuff like that. You fall wrong, you break your neck, you break an arm, you know, something like that. If they're gonna jump, you know, catch the guy, you know, or at least to help him not hit the floor. You know, don't just open up and let him hit. You know, let him do these things. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, a lot of shows do have things on there, no mosh pitting. You know, on the thing, there will be no toleration. You know,
Mm.
so you know, it all depends on where you're at and stuff.
How do you police that sort of thing, though? Do you know what I mean?
Well, mostly security will do that.
Right.
Security will step in. You know, yeah.
Oh, wait,
They usually got security there, you know. But some of those security guys, let me say another thing. Some of these security guys are no better, man. Really, you know, they rough some of these kids up that we yell at them like, "Hey, you know, go easy, man." You know, because they're like pulling these kids over and shit, and that ain't cool either, man. There's no place for that either.
yeah,
Everybody's there to have a good time. So if there's any like kind of violent stuff like that, you know, I mean,
yeah.
there's gonna be some.
I've seen
You know,
I've seen a lot of lazy security as well.
Absolutely, you know.
Place I'll not mention the name because I don't want to cause any. But there's a place in Newcastle, quite recently. A friend's band was supporting vocalist. She got onto the front of the barrier. She lost her footing. There was nobody there. She took a
Damn.
nearly bad fall.
Right.
Somebody crowd surfed. There was no security whatsoever. It was completely empty. And this
Yeah.
guy goes over the barrier, lands on his neck.
Yeah.
Luckily, I saw him after the show, and it was like, "Mate, are you all right?"
Right.
Obviously, he's got drunk vision or
Yeah.
drunken
Yeah.
drunk
Yeah.
empowerment. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably not
Yeah.
feeling it at the present moment, but
Yeah, he'll feel it tomorrow.
he'll
He'll feel it the
feel
next day.
it in the
Yeah.
morning for sure. But yeah, security can be lazy as well.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
more crowd surfing, I would say, here in the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
That seems
Yeah, you guys
very
do have a
decent.
lot of crowd surfing, but we do encourage that. You know, we do come on stage, jump off. You know what I mean? But we're doing it as a, you know, having a good time. You know, I mean, we do want to see, I'm not saying we promote the violence, but you do want to see some movement, some people pushing and stuff like that. You want to see people get into it. It's an aggressive music, and that's the kind of style we play, music. But yeah, man, you don't want nobody to get hurt, though. You know what I mean?
Which I am all for. I am all for. My only concern, the person that you just mentioned before, the headbutt, that sort of thing. That's the kind of
that's uncalled for. That's no room for that. Yeah.
That's 100%. That shit needs to stop.
Yeah.
And sometimes some bands incite it as well, where they find it amusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which not cool.
Yeah. I know a lot of hardcore bands. They incite it. You know. But metal bands as well.
I think it's across the board throughout the entire genre. I couldn't really put.
You know, to be honest, I think on stage when you're saying something, you don't think about the repercussions that maybe it could happen. You know what I mean? Like, so I've seen one things like, punch the dude next to you. If your friend's sitting there, just punch him. It's like, you really if that, what if somebody said, okay, it really does that and just knock somebody out. You don't think about that at the time because you're not down there. You're up here, it's a wholly different atmosphere,
That's it, because God knows what these people are on as well. They'll probably had a couple of one or too many sherbets or.
Oh yeah, just go for it.
God knows what other illegal substances that they could be on, so easily influenced. And
right.
That's when people get hurt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, in your opinion, what responsibility do artists have in terms of addressing this behaviour? Or forecasting a positive environment?
Well, I mean, I just wouldn't incite it, Maybe not go up there and, and tell somebody to, start punching or swinging. As far as that goes, once you're in the door, we really, as musicians, can only give so much opinion, Like, hey, you want to see a move, so it's kind of a back and forth. Wait, what do I say? Hey, easy out there, let's take it easy, But if they're actually like throwing fists and hitting each other, you want to be like, hey, man, come on, But other than that, I don't know what you could really incite or really do.
Yeah.
You don't want to promote it, but you don't want to you want circle pit. You're not just beat each other's fucking ass. You don't want to do that shit. So that's all I really think you can really do. After that, the people that once they're in, that's up to them. All depends on what kind of people you are dealing with individually in the mind. I don't know what this guy's mindset is when it comes to the show.
Yeah.
So it all depends.
Yeah.
As an artist, I don't think how much. You would have to stop the show every 5 seconds because somebody's moshing or something, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. So, mate, so looking ahead, what is actually next for Suffocation after this current tour? That's about after this tour. You will have another album, maybe, in the works.
We're actually going to release a single. We're going to do another single, and looks like maybe another video of Nuclear Blast. So we got that lined up, and then just continue to write, just keep going forward and writing new album. Yeah.
Any rough release dates?
No, I don't give that. It took us 7 years last time. So, but no, I don't know. It won't take us that long this time. It will be a quicker turnaround this time for sure.
Any news on the name of the song? Are we allowed to know the name of the song?
I'm writing lyrics right now, but I don't have a name for it though. Yeah.
How do you? I probably should have asked earlier. Is it normally just trading backwards and forwards musically, or do you actually get in a full room together and record?
Oh, we do. We go inside the studio. I flew down there when we did a recording. All those guys are there, so everybody's there. You track the drums and you do the guitars and so on and stuff like that. But we like to be there, just to see like, hey, maybe try this here, try that there. But we usually do all the pre-production. So like I wrote each song multiple times, different ways, so I could show them which way would you like me to do this, and then we all come to a conclusion. But for the most part, they gave me free will to do what I wanted to do. And yeah, they showed me rhythms. What do you think of this? Oh, that's cool. Let's try to fuck with that, So it's good. That's why it's a band. And this band, we all respect each other's, creative, input. So it works.
Yeah. Any particular themes that you normally address in your songs?
The last album, like I said, was about the fallen, so that was sort of a biblical kind of feel, and something. But yeah, I don't know on this one. This one right now, I'm writing about serial killer, so that's totally different. But yeah, I'm writing different on this one.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Is that from a fan's point as well? Like, are you into that sort? Is that your type of thing, like true crime sort of thing?
Yeah. I watch 48 Hours.
Oh, really?
I watch all these. Yeah, I watch all these crime shows. I was just watching something the other day on Ed Gacy. I love. I don't love those guys, but the shit that they're crazy, and the shit they got away with, and they acted like nothing was going on. It's like, wow, you got to be a special individual in your mind to be doing that shit. It's crazy. It
Yeah,
definitely is.
my wife's absolutely obsessed with Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah,
She absolutely obsessed with that show.
yeah. I mean, you start looking into that, and you're like, wow, that's interesting. These people are living, and they got bodies buried underneath their house, smelling like carcass. You're like, wow, interesting. Not for everybody, that's for sure.
Any particular serial killer that this was going to be based on, or is it just going to be just an imagination of your own?
Fisher, Albert Fisher.
Albert Fisher. I don't think I've come across him before.
Yeah, he was a crazy individual.
Yeah, I'll have to have a Google after I'm finished.
Yeah. He has some disturbing murders for sure.
Oh dear. So, final thoughts. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with fans about the album, tour, or even Mosh Pit culture, or anything? Just any positive words that you want to send out to the people?
Just keep coming to the shows, keep having a good time, and don't need to fight. Let's not fight. But no, you come out to the shows, man, have a good time. Always come up to us and we'll hang out. Talk to you and see how we're doing.
Excellent, please. I love that. Absolutely love that. So, Ricky, nice, short and sweet. I appreciate your time, giving up your afternoon to chat with us here. I'll leave you with our creed, which is the rules of the pit, or the rules for life. When someone falls, we pick them up.
My man, absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time, Ricky. I
All
really
right,
do
brother.
appreciate it.
No problem.